And if you, well, I'm sure if you can share on our status that we are live, if you can. So we'll just wait for like some few more minutes. Once it is 10, Fred, 10:05 is okay, right?
All right, so yeah.
10:05 we start. Okay, yeah, good day everyone. Welcome to today's section. I mean, it's an amazing time and an amazing day. This is QS series organized by Quality Studio. And for today's section, we'll actually be focusing on brand naming sprint. Okay, and here we'll be learning how to create timeless and iconic brand name together. Okay, it's nice to have you here for each and every one on this call. Starting with our instructor for today, Williams Freddie, myself, Oladimeji Oyeniran, who will be moderating today's section. I don't know. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. Can you? You can just use the mic. Oh, it is fine, Omotola. So, yeah, welcome here. Look, my shadow, Omotola Ayeni, Awet Kitchen. Yeah, Awet Jollof Rice, Madam. Adeni Joseph. Yeah, it's nice to have each and every one of us here. And as I've earlier said, we'll be having conversation relating to brand naming. And but before we move forward, right, I would like to brand naming sprint by Quality Studio with oh my god, okay, admit. So um with Freddie Williams and Oladimeji Oyeniran, who will be the moderator. Okay, let me tone this guy down a bit. Okay, things will get very hot very soon. So let's start with the low tempo as things get more interesting. Hi, it's Tawhid Popo on live. I'm right. Yeah, it's nice to have you right here and now. Okay, where is this thing? So a little about Core Studio. Core Studio is a design and a branding and design agency, and our mission is very simple: is to become African leading brand and design agency, and also build the majority of the top 100 Nigerian creative agencies by the year 2025. Right, and we are moving towards achieving that. Currently, we are starting our fellow program tomorrow, to be specific. No, not tomorrow, on Monday, yeah, March 11th, where we will be training 10 intermediate designers to become a pro designer. And over the years, we have had the opportunity of working on some amazing projects. Let me try and show you some of our projects. I don't have much time to be here. Okay, so this is a prayer we just completed for one of our clients, Luminous Consulting. Very, very beautiful and amazing. Okay, so Luminous Consulting will work on the branding from logo to defining the color and other related assets. It's a consulting agency and they are focused on HR solution, certification examination, and HR academy. And after all the ups and downs, we created the logo for the brand, and this is the logo. And because the logo cannot stand alone, they also have some sort of parent logo. This is typography for the brand. This is yeah, different lockups. Okay, 1 minute. um these are the brand pattern, color palette, application of the logo in real life. This is the website layout that we did achieve with them with their brand identity system. This is the this is the founder of the company, the managing director, Emole Oshogbon. Is an HR expert in Canada. We did all the branding for this project. And this is the roll of banner. And this is our stationaries. Brand executive brand by Quality Studio. Yeah. While talking, right, I remember we also work on one amazing project. You can see my screen. Yes, really. Fred, can you see my screen? Please, can you use my screen, Fred? Hello, Fred. Are you there? Sorry, can someone use mic? Can you see my screen, Fred?
Yeah, I can see your screen. Can you hear me?
Did you see the project I presented? Ah,
Luminous, yes.
Omotola, I think you need to log out and join back. Oh. I think that's the issue. So while we were at it, right, I then remember that we have worked on a lot of projects. In fact, I've really lost count here. These are all my. This is about. Let me control A. This is about 222 projects. Oh my god! And some folder even contain more than one project. Then I remember we worked on um um AWETS. Yeah, AWETS is one of our interesting projects. Um, Let me see pictures use. Let me see. No, 1 minute, please. We'll get down to it. Don't worry. We'll get down to it. My Jesus. Where is AWETS branding? Fred, can you imagine? These are all the logo brand assets that we are looking for the other time.
Abio, you didn't send it.
No, I didn't see them. I'm just seeing them now. It's strange. Ah, hey, the devil is a liar. Now the one I now need, I can't find the one I need. Ah, what kind of the one I now need now? I cannot find it. No, I will not take it. Ah, okay. Aha. Ah. Ah. Okay, so what we did the branding is I mean, luxurious. It's a brand that you cannot just wait to see. Opening soon, and when it opens, you just want to be there. For the selected few who know the value of class, and exclusiveness. Yeah. So this is the bag. This is the branded. I mean, now this name was very important. The brand name is very key because if you got the brand name wrong, I tell you, the challenge with that is that you need to change everything because you need to when the name is change, you need to change the logo. In this case, maybe not a must though, but there are times you need to change the logo, especially if it's a word map. I don't want to go into that. This is the usage of the brand, some other more bag, gold and black because of the worthiness I want to communicate with the brand. And amazingly, we are fortunate and gracious to have the founder of AWET here, right with us. These are other things. When it comes to what's the name again? What's that name, Fred? When it comes to hospitality, yes, anything hospitality, AWET is the right way to go. Your this thing will determine your email. It will determine your brand name will determine your email. Just to show you, before we delve into it, we show you it determine your email. Sometimes it determine your logo. Like AWET means something worthy, and that's why you see the gold and black blending together to give the wet feel. Um, this looked like a location in Abuja when I was doing my high tea. Then, whenever I see this stuff, you see, the food is here, yummy, ready to serve. Are you hungry? Please meet Awet. She's right on this call. Chat, I mean, meet her. This is the coffee cup. You are tired. Oh, so, this is the interesting stuff. Yes, this is Awet herself. A-word herself. That is her. Let me zoom so that you can see. That's our God that gave us work that we should do. And we must do it very well. Okay, so then fast forward. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Okay, now this is like in a, I don't know, key holder. These are so sweet stuff. So sweet stuff. I mean, I'm only displaying two projects and anyway, it's one of them. That's because of how sweet. But I've done some other business. And I'll be sharing the link to some of our other projects, Behance link, where you can see some of like this way it's not on our Behance yet. I mean, because we are busy with other projects. Yeah, so at this point, um, once again, introducing myself, I'm Oladimeji Oyeniran. I'm two things, right? I'm a LinkedIn expert and founder and lead consultant at LinkedIn Pro Consulting. What do we do at LinkedIn Pro Consulting? You are a business professional and you want to win on LinkedIn, I'm the guy to speak to. You want to win on LinkedIn. I've been on LinkedIn for the past 7 years and with over 15,000 followers. And when I say I've been on LinkedIn, I mean LinkedIn alone, not LinkedIn and Twitter, not LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. I was on LinkedIn alone for the past 7 years. And I mean, you can hire me to bring the professionalism to your project. Okay, so I've worked on a number of projects, and Fred is our lead brand name. Yeah. Again, I'm the founder and um, partner at Quality Studio and branding and design agency. And Fred happened to be he happened to work with our verbal and communication department and is responsible for any name of events or brand or whatsoever from the strategy of the naming, the research and everything we will be delving into with time. Fred is the one that is often responsible for that. Okay, so the question is what a name is not, right? And if you say what a name is not, a name is not actually a brand. Um, a name is not your brand. A name is a brand element. Yeah. What we're trying to say is that because someone will say, "Oh, I bought it from that brand." Yeah. So a name is not a brand in the sense that a name as is empty. Maybe 40 years ago, Amazon is known to be a forest in the United States, yeah, in America as a continent. But over the years, Amazon have come to be that online shopping platform, such that they did a research, they did a survey, yeah, by placing some list of they wrote the name Amazon and they showed the forest and an Amazon logo to some kids, and I tell you that a large population of them were picking Amazon logo. That is what a name is. Over the years, Amazon have built something remarkable around the Amazon brand, and that is why we now have the Amazon logo that I mean, the Amazon name that is now shifted with that today. I believe you get my point. So what I'm saying is that a brand name alone will not do it, but you see, a brand, as we have in the group, we're having conversation about, okay, a guy wanted to enter the car, and his sister did not know that he was at the door. Then the sister slammed the door on the finger of the elder brother, and bam, the whole body felt it. What am I saying? A name can be small, but it is very, very important when it comes to developing a brand. What are we saying? One plus one plus one plus one is equal to one. Because at the end of the day, what we are still building is a brand name. Okay. So fast forward, right? Why is naming essential? Why is a brand name essential? Um, Okay, so please can you hear me? Can you hear me? I want to be sure you can hear me.
We can hear you, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Okay,
We
okay,
can hear you.
okay. Thank you very much. So moving on, right? Why is naming essential? The good book said a good name is better than gold, and we have seen. I mean, I was watching the documentary of Charisma Maduka of this guy Inewi, yeah, and he was saying that based on the integrity they have built with their cars and their brands, right? Banks are always willing to borrow them money. Why? Because they have built a good name. The same way with this guy, is it no is it Buffett? Is it Buffett? There is this brand, this filling station brand that everybody, please who knows the name of that brand? There is this filling station brand that they said even no matter what the cost of the petrol is in Nigeria, what's the name, please? I think someone want to help me. So I can't remember. I think it's Buffett that no matter what the price of petrol station is in Nigeria, they don't hike price, they don't odd fuel and everything. And that has been a name for them. So a good name is a good investment. Okay, a good name is a good investment. And you have seen people who go for an interview and they say, "Oh, Kinika Kinika, oh, your surname ring a bell. Are you a son to so?" And you say yes. And that yes you said will either mean maybe they will favor you will be favored, or if it happened that the dad happened to be one terrorist lecturer when the student was on campus, it means that the person might not get the job. So a good name is investment. Your branding specially starts your branding, yeah. Your branding actually starts with the name. So this there are two things that are very simple in developing for a brand, which is brand name and the logo. But they can be really, really they can be headaching. That means give you a headache if that is a correct English in quotes. Yeah, because they look so simple and yet they can either make or mar a business, and especially if you are building for the long term. Over the years at Koi Studio, we have had the opportunity of working on more than 100 brand names, from Biscam to Quality Studio to Our That to I mean, she glows. Um, um, I can't remember. I can't remember all of them. You get to the one we just developed right now is Tabitha Nora, which is a fashion exclusive brand. Yeah. So brand name is looks simple, and it can also be the same thing with logo. Yeah. The reason is because once if you don't get it right, you have problem in the future. Yeah. Naming is one of the bedrock of equity. Um, with names, there are some places that you can enter, there are some places that you can do business. For some of us that are familiar with OAU, if Quality Studio wake up tomorrow and say, we are Quality Studio, let me use Apple, we are Quality Studio and we sell bicycle and we want to sell bicycle, come and buy our bicycle and everything. Well, maybe I will buy the bicycle and my so-called colleague in Quality Studio will buy the bicycle. At the end of the week, we have like, and if I have my family members that will also want to support my vision, not because they want a bicycle, maybe by that time we should be having like 10 bicycles that we have sold at the end of 1 month. Yeah. But imagine Apple wake up tomorrow and said, "Oh, we now sell bicycle." I mean, people are already on the queue saying, I must have it. Why? Because they have built a good name. So name is a brand is one of the bedrock of equity, and that's why sometimes we see brands suing themselves and taking themselves to court because of name infringement, which they call intellectual property infringement. And your name, as Fred have said, he work in the barber identity department. Your name is one of your barber identity. Hmm? Have you ever happened to you that you are walking in on the street and you hear Tola, maybe I mean if your name is Tola or Glory, the first thing that happen is that you want to look back and say, "Oh, who knows me here?" You understand? I don't know if you are also like me, in which we have a name that I have a name that my parents calls me, but I have a name that my school guys call me, and suddenly you hear someone call you a name that they calls you at home, and you are like, "Okay, for you to have called me that name, right? It have to be that you know me from home." Okay. So fast forward, those are some of the why naming is essential. And why is naming challenging? Naming is challenging for a number of reasons. Where naming is challenging because it's a name now. I mean, you're supposed to just come up with it. No, there is a difference between the name that you were given when you are being christened at birth, though we know that our parents do the necessary, they are due diligence before they give us name, and the name of a company, yeah, or of a brand that you are building. One of it is personal interference. Oh, like, oh, I love this name and I want my brand to be this name. Yeah, but unfortunately, based on my experience, it's not always like that. Number two, availability. Now, that availability one is the major problem and challenge of coming up with a name. Why? Because when you are trying to create a name, you are competing against the whole world. And now you imagine someone want to say abc.com. How abc as a name? How? Or sorry, you want to say let me see one sweet name like that. um Edge Consulting. You're like, oh, Edge. What's the name of your brand name? Edge. And you like, oh, or you want to say Climax Consulting or Pinnacle. All these names, if you go online, someone has picked them. So you are competing against the world, but not just against the world. You are competing against those that have gone before you came and those that are existing right now. You are competing against people that are even more intelligent than you. I mean, that is life for you. There are people you are intelligent than, there are people you are at the same level, and there are people that they are more intelligent than you. So, and you are competing against branding agencies like us, who are going to, before we come up with them, who can go about listing like 100 names. So that is one of the reasons why naming is challenging in terms of the availability of that name. Language and cultural barrier. I think there is a brand that they named, but I can't even remember the name of the brand. They create a name for the brand. When the brand gets to Spanish, it means maybe shit or butok. It sha means one stupid things, yeah. And because of that, there is cultural interference, and because of that, they have to work on the name and create something else. So cultural barrier. A name might mean something good in a particular territory, but when you get out there, is something, yeah. Trend trap. Someone wants to name his brand Ogaraya, or you want to name it, what's that any word that is trending now? No gree. No gree for anybody or something. You want to name it something trendy, yeah? And sometimes that's done with the trap. Number six, trademarking. As we have already talked about the availability part, yeah. So that's one of another challenge, is that is name available. If it's not available, then there is a challenge. Okay, so then we move on to what are the quality of an iconic brand name. What are the things that you want to see in a brand name that will make you say, oh, based on this and this, I will say that this brand name is winning. Okay, this brand name is winning. Some of the things you want to look at. Well, let me first say there are two critical things that make a brand name iconic and stand out. Number one is that it is simple. Eh? Then number two, but distinct. Is it simple such that everybody can easily understand the name, but distinct such that it is not similar to what you can easily get out there, or it's not similar to what's already in existence. And that's where the hard work comes in. But beyond these two things, there are other things that a brand name should connect. Yeah, a good brand name should connect. Number amidst them is number one. Amidst them is it's better if a brand name is in English. Why? Because a majority of the world speak English. Okay, so actually, according to data, the most spoken language in the world is Mediterranean Chinese or so, right? But that is because Chinese have a very large population, which means the language is concentrated in a particular geographical location. But if we want to talk about disparity of languages, I think English is topping. I don't know the language that is now following, but I know French, and French is also doing best. Yeah. I don't know of Spanish. Yeah. So you want to try and stick with English, especially where your brand will be operating will be in a global space or more in the English speaking world. For instance, if you are operating a brand in Nigeria and Africa, a large population of the African continent understand English. So you might want to go English. Number two is that the name is meaningful, right? You want to try again. Please note, right? It's meaningful means that it should make it's not a must. See, it's not a must to fulfill all these characteristics, but to a good extent, it should fulfill most of these um um qualities. Let me first lead them before I explain. It should be meaningful. It should communicate brevity. It should be distinct. It should communicate positivity. It should be modular. It should be future oriented. It should um it should okay, it should pronounce well. It should be easy to pronounce. Sorry, it should be easy to pronounce. Then it should be protectable. That means it should be registerable. Now let me pick it one after. Meaningful means that it should, once you hear it, to some extent it should be meaningful, but it's not all names that are meaningful, because there are names that are abstract name, like block, BLOC. For some of, I don't know any of us that know block. The block does not actually means anything. Like, let me see if there is any other name that I can think of. Yeah, but it's not a must that a name is meaningful, but if it can be meaningful, fine. Number two, it should be distinct. It should be short. The shorter a brand name is, the better. Yeah. Meaning principle of minimalism, less is more. Then it should be distinct. Distinct means that, as I said, a great brand name is should sit between simplicity and distinctive, which means that you should be able to say, oh, this name is belong to this particular band that does this particular thing. It should be easy to memorize as a brand name. It should be easy to commit to memory. It should be easy to recall from memory. That means remember it whenever you see it another time you are seeing it, which is why a name being short and distinct is very, very important. Then it should connect a positive meaning. A good brand name should not connect something negative, as I earlier said in the example I gave the other time about a name left the shore of maybe US and enter a Spanish speaking country, and it become a negative feel. So it should be connect positivity, and even when you are still there, you should communicate positivity. Yeah. Then a name should be modular in the sense that, see, as a company, as a brand, you might start with a particular service or product you are offering, but as time goes on, you realize that other thing might crouch in, and you still want that name to cater for it. Do you get? And a brand name that is modular allow you to do. That's why sometimes creating a name that is contextual, that means, oh, we're into fashion, then we now say cloth and dye, fashion, cloth and dye. But what happen when you now want to start entering into construction? Cloth and dye will still go. You see that there is a challenge already. What happen when you want to go into ICT? Cloth and dye, it begged question, which is why sometimes iconic name, abstract name can be better, because they can actually fit into a lot of. The abstract name means a name that does not necessarily represent something, or yeah, something like that. Then future oriented, yeah, this is achieved by when we speak with our clients on branding, on when a client that need a branding service, a brand name service. One of the questions we ask them is that, what are the service you are offering now, and what are the service you look forward to offering in the future? You don't need to be correct, just give us an idea of what you think you might be offering with this same brand name in the future. Then another question I want to ask is, what's your vision and what's your mission. From there we can it's easy for us to know if the brand will stay within that industry or it will extend to other industry. Yeah. So there are some clients that want a brand that should stay within an industry, and some brand actually want to stay within a geographic location. For instance, a good example is Biscamp. Right now, Biscamp for us is one of our startup at Quest Studio is now Biscamp Africa. And why? Is because we know that Biscamp will not get outside Africa. The only best Biscamp can be is to reach out to Africa in diaspora, because Biscamp is built by Africa for Africa. Yeah. So future oriented, what's the future of the brand? But if you are building a global brand or a brand that will likely be a groups, a one good example is Dangote groups. Now Dangote groups can accommodate anything: petroleum, spaghetti, indomie, garri, ewa. In fact, if Dangote start selling fufu, yeah, it will also accommodate it. That's just by the way, just kidding. Okay, so um one other thing, I'm coming. I think someone is trying to join us. No, extend call. Okay, sorry, 1 minute. um I don't know what this guy is trying to say. Don't end call for me. Oh, 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 okay. If this section end, okay, if this section end, please just pick it up from the group, or you chat me up directly. Fred, please type my phone number. Type your phone number so that anybody that want to join, you can send the link to the person. Or you. I think we should be able to. I don't know. I'm not sure if we'll be able to join with this link back. Okay. So while I move on, right? Fred, please also share Quest Studio Behance link. It should be on QS series WhatsApp group. Okay. And the name should be should pass the it should pass what we call the audio test. What is audio test? Means that everybody should pronounce it the same way. These are some of the check we do on a brand name when we are done. We don't want someone saying Bilari, as someone is saying Bilari, as someone is saying Bilari. There is need for you to ensure that the audio test is tested and catered for. Okay, so, and lastly, the name should be protectable. What does it mean? It means that it should not be a name that someone has picked or is using already. So it should be ownable, and the domain name, the social media, everything should be available. Okay, so why it should be flexible, as you have said, talk about modular. Sometimes a name can be contextual, not a must. Contextual means that relevant to the kind of industry and service that you operate. Yeah. And yes, very important. One thing that make brand name very difficult. Anybody can come up with a brand name, but there are two things that make creating a brand name difficult. Number one is not everybody can check if the name flies for across fly and do the necessary check on it. Number two, which we'll be talking about in this section. Number two, um the name has to be consistent across all platforms, which means that if the brand name is Quality Studio on LinkedIn, it should be Quality Studio on YouTube, it should be Quality Studio on IG, it should be Quality Studio on Twitter, it should be Quality Studio on email, it should be Quality Studio on any platform, TikTok, whatsoever. Yeah, even email, it should be, even domain name, it should be the same name. Consistency and repetition is one of the key element of brand name. So we have, why do you need a name? A name can be needed for a personal brand. My own personal brand name is Oladimeji Oyeniran. It is not Oyeniran Oladimeji. It is not Oladimeji O, right? Or it's either Oladimeji or Oladimeji Oyeniran. That's my brand name across all platforms. You can actually connect with me on LinkedIn with that name. Then my domain name is oladimejioyeniran.com. You see the flow now. Yeah, you can need a brand name. You need a brand. Why do you need a brand name? You can need a brand name for personal branding. You can need a brand name for corporate branding. You can need a brand name for organization that is and you are considering to reposition. You can need a brand name for a product, and sometimes you can need a brand name for your events. You are organizing an event, and you want the event like this Quality Studio series event. Now we first see Quality Studio space Quality Studio tweet and Quality Studio event. No, we end up staying on Quality Studio series for this particular event that you are part of right now. And there are types of different type of name. A name can come from the founder. A name can be descriptive. That means he's saying he's talking about what the brand is into, right? Bloom and glow, for instance, is that as a lady you should bloom and you should glow like flower, right? It's targeted for ladies. A name can be metamorphoric. You can read more about this. It can be an acronym like WHO is World Health Organization, ECOWAS Economic Community of West Africa. Usually a acronym name, or maybe you can also use the word letter mark name. I usually use when the brand name itself is very long, and the coming together of that name is it makes sense. I would have loved to show us Tafo Foundation, which is a brand we are currently working on. We are currently branding the brand. It should be ready in like 2 weeks from now. Amazing brand, NGO focus. The is a memorial brand for the Funmilayo Abigail Foundation, and from there T for D, Abigail, A, F for Funmilayo, and F O for foundation. There we get Tafo. I don't know if I can quickly show us Tafo, where are you? Where are you? Where are you, Tafo? Dayo, 1 minute. NGO, Holy Spirits. I have very limited time. Okay, so I'll just show you the few things I can show you. I can't show you all these things because we are here to launch the brand. Okay, let me just show you this hoodie. Cannot see more than this, I'm sorry. So this is Staffo, the Abigail Funmilayo Foundation. Okay, that is Staffo for you. Let me see if I can show one more thing.
We cannot see it.
Oh boy, oh boy. Um, my screen is sharing now. Can you see now? Hello, can you see now? Sorry,
No, sir, we can't.
I want someone else to talk. Bukumi, can you see my screen? Oh, Bukumi said you can
I
see.
can see your screen.
Yeah, I think it's from here. Maybe you should log out and come back. Oh. So now that is that about TAFO, the Abigail Funmilayo Foundation. That is a kind of acronym kind of name. Then beyond that, right, fabricated. That means it might not be a written. That's why we talked about abstract name, like blog, like Google. Yeah, they might not necessarily mean something serious like that. Alteration or magic spell. Sometimes a name can be altered to make it make sense. So I don't know. Instead of quality, you can just write Kwality. That's quality, yeah, and that's a brand name already. It is the same English word, but it has been fabricated and tweaked, yeah, and that is what we talked about. That then alteration combination. Sometimes we hear knife edge. um so sometimes you just have compound word coming together. um Upper limit, yeah, that's a brand name. You get, so that is it. Now brand naming, brand type of name, we have talked about type of name. Then brand naming process. At this point I would like to ask, do we have anyone who is working on a brand name here? So real quick, while we have someone who is raising his or her hand, I will quickly show us what a branding process look like. Branding process, we start by discovery section. This is where we take the client brief and try to understand. Okay, ask some specific question like, what's your full name? Have you used any brand name before? Please note all this thing I'm saying. Have you used any brand name before? Maybe as an undergraduate, have you started any business and you have a brand name? Number two, is there any name that is on your mind that you would like to use? Another thing will be like, do you have any nickname growing up, whether in secondary, primary school or so? Yeah, we want to ask those questions. We want to, after that, we want to also want to ask questions like, what are the products and services we're offering? What are the do you see this company doing other things in the future? Which country do you try to limit to? And all those basic related questions, yeah. Then another thing is I want to conduct a research based on the information and the brief you get from the client to see some of the names that works using different research tools like ChatGPT and co. Okay, so mainly that come during the brainstorming section. After doing brainstorming and research process, you want to use tools like Thesaurus by generate brainstorming itself, right? Team brainstorming by asking list of keywords. Yeah, you want to do mind mapping. I don't know. I believe some of us are familiar with mind mapping. Simply means that you pick a keyword. For instance, if the brand name is quality studio, the keyword are quality and studio. Then you can then add branding as another keyword, and you can also have agency as another keyword. Then you now from that you now start mapping some other word that can come from that. We use this for both brand naming and logo design and even copywriting and any of that creative approach. The so intelligent creative solution. Yeah. Then you want to use tools like glossaries, online naming tool and software and name generation. Yeah, you want to use all those tools. And there are some name generation platform online. You just type on Google name generation platform, and what you are doing is that as you are typing the parameters on this name generation tool, you are noting on your paper or on your Word document the one that you feel they are making sense, because not all of them will make sense, right? Or not all of them will meet this criteria. Okay. Then another step you want to do after brainstorming and you generate some name generation is you want to do these three things. Maybe at the end of the day, trust me, coming up with a great brand name is not a easy task. It can be a daunting task. Sometimes you can be lucky and you get the brand name in just 10 minutes or 3 hours or so, and sometimes you are generating a brand name for the next 1 month and you are still not making best result. I mean, that is my own personal experience creating brand name, right? So what you want to do is you want to generate a lot of brand name, and after you have done that, you want to maybe at the end of it you have generated like 50 brand names. Sometimes we go as high as 50, 60. Sometimes you go 30, sometimes you go 15. But I don't think we ever got done a brand name whereby you generate just 5 brand name or 10 brand name. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way, because you are, again, we have told you a lot of things you are fighting against, the genius past brand name, existing brand name of likes. So you want, after you have now generated all these 50 brand name or 60 as the case means, or 100, you can go that much. You want to do something, you want to filter them based on how relevant and how sensible they are. I mean, when you are creating brand, you are generating some stupid ones also as you are generating the good ones. So you want to remove the stupid one and the one that they do not work. Then next thing is that you want to shortlist to the best one, maybe the best 10 or the best 7 or the, I don't know, whatsoever. Then you want to eliminate the one that does not work. That means out of the 60 or 50, 55 or 70, or 120, you eliminate everything and you eliminate 144, and it remains 6 out of them which are look very catchy. Then the next thing is that you want to present to your internal team, and after that you also want to present to the client to give an idea of what the ideation behind the naming is, right? Then finally you want to do I'm sorry, I say finally, you want to do a legal search on the name. You want to search on different medium. Number one, you want to use tools like godaddy.com to check see if the domain name is available. You want to check on Google if the email is available. You want to check on social media platforms and see is anybody using this name already, right? And if someone is using it, that's now where our own specialty experience comes in, right? You might want to just say, okay, maybe if um Adetayo is not working, maybe I just write Adetayo online for all our social media power, and then our website will be adetayoonline.com. Or maybe instead, if the Adetayo is not working, I just say, oh, you know what, my name is still Adetayo, let me just use the adetayo.com. Then my social media is at the Adetayo on social media, on Google, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Snapchat, on any other social media that will come on later in the on Thread whatsoever. Yeah. Legal search is to ensure that this name is available and it is protectable. Then finally you want to select the final brand name. This is not it's not usually an easy process, and it's not a you follow this process, but this is an ideal process to generate a brand name that we have used over and over again, creating more than 100 brand names, successful ones. Yeah. Then the next thing you want to do after this is that you want to secure this brand name, secure them. How do you secure them? By building it up, yeah, building it up by registering. Firstly, you want to register it with CAC. Yes, part of the area to search is to search CAC database. This name is available. You want to register it on CAC. That means you have secured it. The next thing, you want to register on the social media platform. Secure it, because we have that experience and it's not palatable. Once you have a brand, you want to secure it. You want to get the domain name on maybe googlehost.com, maybe godaddy.com or namecheap.com. You want to secure that domain name. Yeah. And then you want to move on to building here. You want to create the logo. Then you want to secure it on the website. And there are other things here relevant, right? You also want to secure the email for this brand name. Okay. So in all honesty, that is, we don't want to take much of your time. That is some key things about creating a brand name. Yeah. We would have loved to do more, but we don't want to bore you. We want to just boil down and drive into the key points of this brand naming things, right? So the next thing I would like to say, we still have a quite number of time before we go, right? So at this point, what we are going to do now is to take specific questions